Hello, my name is Laura Wogozogan, and I will be your instructor this semester. This is going to be a brief video that goes over our STAT C1000H course syllabus. And really quick, the name STAT C1000H is new this semester. This is the same as what Mount SAC has previously had as Math 110H. And so there's two sections that I'm teaching that are honors, and my office is listed and my email is listed over on the left side. On the right side, you'll notice that I have office hours that are going to be both on campus and on Zoom. So feel free to either stop by on campus or on Zoom. This is an online course and it's honors. And our textbook is given down below, but the textbook is recommended and not required. So definitely not something that you need to purchase. They have copies of this in the library and also in the Marks and ASAC. The things that you will need for this class is going to be Canvas. We do need a scanner or a scanning app to upload our PDF files. And so with that, I use Adobe Scan, which is free. You can also use the programs that are on a lot of the phones or stop by one of the resources that we have on campus that do have scanners. You do need a graphing calculator or an app. I'm going to be using an 8384 Texas Instrument TI graphing calculator, and an app is very similar. We'll go over that down below. You do need printed or downloaded class notes, paper and pencil. And in terms of the notes, I will also leave copies of printed notes out in front of my office. So the prereq is listed along with our learning outcomes and measurable objectives. Definitely take some time to read through those on your own. The next thing that we have is homework. So each student is responsible for his or her own learning. And homework is going to be assigned weekly, and it's online through a program called My Open Math, which is free. And then also with worksheets. The worksheets will be uploaded on Canvas along with worked out solutions. So the online homework will use a free program called My Open Math, which is embedded into Canvas. All homework assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on Thursdays for each week, unless otherwise stated. The assignments are listed on our course schedule, which is on the last page of our syllabus. No late assignments are collected, so make sure you get an early start on these. They're open for usually at least a week before they are due. Online homework problems can be attempted an infinite amount of times, so make sure you keep trying until you get 100% on that assignment. And also, we sometimes run into issues with using our online devices and programs. So My Open Math from Canvas usually can be resolved if you have any issues if you just clear your cookies or clear your history. So something to keep in mind. Sometimes it will say the assignment is locked when it really isn't yet due. So make sure that you clear your cookies and clear your history. For written homework, work should be clear and completed using handwriting and uploaded on Canvas as a single PDF. Make sure to note that you need to use the same techniques that we use in class or in our textbook and notes. And if you're having trouble with any homework assignment, you can definitely ask a fellow classmate, visit the Marks, which is discussed below, which is our free tutoring center, or attend any office hours to get extra help. Homework's worth 5% of your final grade. The next topic on here is lecture videos and notes. So each chapter has at least one lecture video. Most of them are going to have two. And those you need to watch, and they are worth points. So while watching the lecture videos, make sure to fully complete by hand, again, not typing, all our chapter notes and examples. So they're going to be like an outline, and there'll be some blanks on those outlines, on those lecture notes that you will be filling in just as if you were sitting in class. You may complete notes on a tablet. You can have printed lecture notes that you can fill in as you go. And these need to be scanned in and uploaded as a single PDF file for credit. Lecture videos need to be completely watched and also through the Canvas link for credit. Throughout the lecture video, you'll be asked questions to check for your understanding of the material. But the key thing here is that those are just for you to get a good understanding of how well you're understanding the material. Those are not for any points. The only points that you get for watching the video is answering the last question, which is, did you watch the entire lecture video? And you need to make sure you check yes for that and submit it, and that way you get your 5 points for watching that lecture video. If you missed all of the questions that were asked throughout it, it's not going to affect your grade. However, you should have an understanding that that is demonstrating that you do not understand the material very well and you need to ask for extra help, either from the Marks office hour or fellow classmate. These lecture videos need to be completely watched by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. So unless otherwise stated, and then you need to upload your chapter notes. Those need to be uploaded as a single PDF file by Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. unless otherwise stated. Each completed chapter notes worth 15 points and must be completed by hand and not typed. Lecture videos and completed chapter notes make up 5% of your grade. You can always go back and re-watch lecture videos, and sometimes students like to do this especially right before an exam. So you can re-watch lecture videos by using the YouTube link that's provided in our course orientation start here Canvas module. That's the first folder that is on our modules in Canvas. So discussions, there's going to be one weekly discussion post. Discussions are going to require you to post about a topic and also respond to at least one classmate's post. Directions, grading, and expectations will be posted for each discussion topic. Discussions, both the posting and the response, are due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Make sure to not only complete your post, but also respond to at least one classmate's before the due date of Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. For credit, this counts for 5% of your grade. The next thing that we have is quizzes, which are individual, online. They use that program, MyOpenMath, and they're chapter quizzes. Remember that MyOpenMath is the same program that we'll be using for our online homework. So you want to make sure you complete your homework before you take a quiz. And these are assigned weekly, and they do cover one chapter at a time. These are timed quizzes. They will tell you how much time you get for the quiz before you begin. And you cannot start and stop this. So you have to, if it says 30 minutes, then you have that 30-minute time period that you need to dedicate to taking that quiz. So it's going to cover recent material covered in class and on the homework. Quiz problems may be attempted only once. So this is different than our homework assignment. And so only once can you try each problem. And this is going to make up 5% of your course grade. Quizzes open on Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. and are due by Fridays at 11:59 p.m. unless otherwise stated. Failure to complete your quiz by that due date results in a grade of a 0, so there's no extension. So remember that these are open for quite a long period of time, so you want to make sure that you have your schedule set so you know when you can schedule in and take this quiz. The next thing that we have are projects. There's going to be 3 individual computer projects assigned during this semester. The first 2 are more general, kind of getting you used to using this new program, which is called StatDisk, which is free, and adjusting to how to write an actual statistical project. The third project is our big honors project, and this is where you're going to come up with your own topic and conduct your own research, and we'll discuss that later on throughout the semester. But projects are going to count for 25% of your course grade, and all the due dates for the projects are listed on our course schedule, which again is that last page in our syllabus. Exams and final exam is our next topic. So we have 3 exams that are given on the weeks that are listed on our schedule. Exams will be given in 2 parts. So part of it will be on MyOpenMath, which is the same program that we'll be using for homework and quizzes. And the other part will be handwritten, where you're going to upload it as a single PDF file. And so all work on exams need to be completed using the same vocabulary and approach as discussed in class notes and in the textbook. Additional information will be provided about the week prior to the exam, telling you exactly how many questions, how much time you have, and things along those lines. Exams will count for 30% of your grade. So it's a big part of our grade. It says exams will be open for a 36-hour window, and they will be open from Thursdays at 8 a.m. till Friday at 8 p.m. during those exam weeks. So definitely make sure you have a quiet location to work. Exams are also open notes, and you're able to use a calculator. So keep that in mind as you're going through this course. It also says a cumulative final exam will be open for a 36-hour window from Tuesday, December 9th at 8 a.m. until Wednesday, December 10th at 8 p.m. So definitely keep that date in mind too when you're scheduling any kind of work or family obligations. And more information about the final exam will be discussed during week 15. Final exam is worth 20% of your course grade and cannot be made up or given early. And if you have any special test taking needs, make sure to tell me about them prior or as soon as you can. Prior to the start of the semester would be best, but as soon as you can, that would be great. So then that way I can make sure those accommodations are met. Our grade distribution is here, so you can look at that. You do need a C or higher to pass and get your college credit. Our Marks or Math Activities Resource Center is a free tutoring center on campus in Building 61. They offer calculators, graphing calculators that you can borrow for the day. They also have textbooks that you can borrow while working in the Marks. And they also have a lot of tutors and instructors in there that can provide assistance in helping make sure that you master and understand the material. And so there's information there to register. You do need to register. It does not show up on your transcript, and it also does not cost anything to you, but they need to keep track of it for funding purposes. So definitely sign up. A good idea is to sign up right away, and that way it's there just in case you need it. The hours of operation are listed on here. Absence and drop policy. This is a little different since our class does meet asynchronously. And so since it does meet asynchronously, one absence counts as not completely watching one lecture video, completing one discussion, or uploading completed chapter lecture notes. If you have more than 4 absences, you will be dropped from the course automatically. So make sure to keep track of all these absences. In addition, you'll be dropped if you fail to take any exam without letting the instructor know prior to the start of that exam time. And makeup lectures are not given. However, the lecture videos are all posted on YouTube. And the YouTube link you can find in your course orientation Start Here Canvas module. And you're responsible for all announcements made in Canvas, so make sure you have your notifications set so you get those. And if you decide to drop, make sure that you are aware of these drop dates. So dropping without a W and with a W. We have our Canvas resources listed here. One thing to note is that there is a helpful phone number that you can call if you have any issues with Canvas, and there's also help embedded into Canvas too. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to Canvas. Instructor contact. So if you have any questions about the course or material, feel free to contact me my email address is listed. It's also listed at the top of the syllabus, or you can go through Canvas inbox. Expect up to a 24-hour response time Monday through Thursday, and expect up to a 48-hour response time Friday through Sunday. Comments left on assignments will not be read, so make sure to email me or use Canvas inbox if you have any questions. So again, leaving a comment on an assignment gets overlooked, so you want to make sure that you take the time to send an email or use Canvas inbox to let me know if you have a question or concern about any kind of assignment or grade. And also, responding to any kind of email, usually I get back to you sooner, but definitely be aware of this and be patient until that response is sent. The other thing on here is that we have Zoom office hours. Zoom office hours, there's a link on our homepage, which is the easiest one to find, and there's also another page in our orientation module. I also did put down our course ID and password just in case you need that. Calculators. So this is our large expense for this class. You do need a graphing calculator, preferably a Texas Instrument TI 8384 graphing calculator. Graphing calculators are expensive, and we do have other options using apps. We have Graphing Calc 83 is a good app. This is one that they suggest in the Marks, and there is a cost for this usually for most students, so it's usually at the most $10. Some devices it is free. And there's some additional information on some other programs that you might be able to use. The next part on here is student honesty. This main thing is don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. And for us in our course, it's going to be pretty much looking at that Mount SAC academic honesty plan and what dishonesty is. And there's a list here that we have. Plagiarism is a big concept that I want you guys to be aware of. I do take it very seriously. And I want to make sure that you're aware that the class will use an AI detection program on submitted material, including exams, discussions, projects, and homework. So submitting anything that's not done by yourself is considered plagiarism, and this includes any work that was done by AI. And this will result in the grade of a 0 for that assignment, and then also getting reported to Student Life at Mount SAC for a hearing. And so I want to remind you that completing quizzes, projects, discussions, and exams are done on your own without the aid of any computer apps, web pages, programs, or AI. And exams and quizzes are to be individual assessments, not taken with other people. The next thing that we have on here is student conduct. So make sure you're nice not just to me, but to your classmates. And then with email, you want to make sure you introduce yourself. There are 2 sections of honors statistics, so a good idea is to include your CRN for your section. And then when you ask a question about MyOpenMath, those problems are unique for you, meaning that they might all be the same type of problem. However, the numbers might be different for every single student. So you want to make sure you include a screenshot of that problem when you ask a question about it. The reason why is this allows me to better help you with your exact problem. And then also only send 1 question per email. So if you had 5 different questions, you should be sending 5 separate emails. The reason why is because a lot of times I have time to answer maybe 1 or 2, but not all 5. And this allows me to get back to you quicker to help you out and get you going on your assignment. So other thing is to make sure that you use correct language and keep it brief and concise. So make sure you ask, let me know where you were confused or what you got lost on and where you need help. Accommodations for disabilities are listed. So if you need to contact them and be assessed, then definitely reach out to them. If you are part of the Access program, please send your accommodations as soon as possible so I can make sure they are met. Our course schedule, which has been referred to throughout this syllabus. And so the first column we have over here is our weeks, and then our lecture videos that we need to watch, the material that's being covered, and then the last column has the homework that's due, the quizzes that are due, the discussions that are due, and then also when we have exams and projects due. You will notice for week 1, we have homework 1, quiz 1 that goes over chapter 1 material, and discussion number 1 for this week. And then you'll notice it looks very much the same for the next couple weeks. And then you'll look through the whole syllabus and notice it's pretty much the same for all weeks with that same layout. So a couple things to note is that you have lecture videos that are going to be due on Tuesdays by 11:59 p.m. Then your notes that need to be completed are due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. along with the discussion that you have for that week, which remember you have to post and respond to a classmate, due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Due by Thursday is going to be your homework assignment for the week, and then due by Friday is going to be your quiz for the week. Then you'll notice a few things different on here, such as if you look at week 5, you'll look at week 5. This is a little bit different of a layout. You'll notice that homework number 5 is actually a worksheet, and this worksheet is posted on Canvas. I have also included my answers on the Canvas assignment, but those I would like for you not to try to look at until you've completed the assignment, and or if you have any like really small questions. If you're very stuck on the material, please reach out to like the MARC, stop by office hours, talk to classmates. Then you'll also notice you have the due date for your project number 1. You'll have the exam, and remember that for exams, they open on Thursday at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then they are need to be completed by Friday at 8 p.m. And so this week's laid out a little bit different. And you'll notice that for the other, it's very similar for what we have for the other exam weeks. And then you'll notice that with project number 3, which is our big project for our honors course, you'll notice that there's different due dates throughout that have to do with project 3. So just to be mindful of these, but we'll talk more about this when it gets closer. And then also your final exam times are listed on here. So I'm looking forward to an amazing semester with you all.